What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Vegan Test Kitchen. Today we are making a leek and bean cassoulet with biscuits. I think it's cassoulet, what it looks like. So apparently that's a slow cooking casserole and it's supposed to be like a French thing, but it seems more like a prairie thing, like you'd be eating this, you know, in the Wild West with some biscuits on it and over your campfire and singing songs and all that good stuff. Anyway, here's what you're gonna need. 2 Yukon potatoes, 3 or 4 carrots, 1 onion, 2 garlic cloves, 1 can of navy beans or any other white bean, vegetable broth, fresh thyme, salt, cornstarch, 2 leeks, well washed. And for the biscuits you're gonna need vegetable shortening, soy milk, flour, baking powder, salt, apple cider vinegar. First thing we're gonna do is preheat our oven to 425. Now we're gonna cut our potatoes into little chunks and put them in a pot and boil them. All right, fill it with water and set it on high. Wait till it starts boiling. While that's about to boil, let's go ahead and prepare the other vegetables. So the carrots and the leeks and the garlic. So we're looking for 1.5 cups of chopped carrots. I don't know how many that takes, so I'm just doing 4. See what that does. So 4 carrots was pretty much spot on, so do that. All right, our potatoes are boiling. So stick a lid on it and turn it down a little bit so it doesn't explode, because it always does. And you're gonna boil it for 10 minutes. I forgot, you're also gonna need frozen peas. Now you're gonna want a tablespoon, I think it was a heaping tablespoon. Yeah, a heaping tablespoon of chopped thyme. That probably looks good. All right, 10 minutes is up, so we're gonna turn the stove off, drain our potatoes. We're gonna rinse them off so they stop cooking. Remember when I was telling you about that really cool tool that took the fresh herbs off the stem? This is it. Thanks to Chris, he bought this for me. Thank you very much. It's awesome, I can't wait to use it. I did more than one at once. You probably shouldn't do that. They don't seem to be coming off very easily. Okay, I must be really stupid because I'm not using it right, I guess. I don't know. So I'm just gonna pull them off. Well, I'm sure this will work good with other herbs, just maybe not with thyme. This is pretty much just as bad as me dealing with the currants. Okay, that is definitely a heaping tablespoon. All right, now we're gonna prepare the leeks. I've never prepared these before. Apparently they're really dirty, so you have to make sure you clean them really well. And you're not gonna use this top green, the super dark green part. So just chop that up. See, it's really, really dirty. Can you see that? So they said to take off any of the outside leaves that are like super fibrous, which I'm just gonna take off this first layer. Or you can see it now, see the dirt? Yeah. Okay, now what we're gonna do is slice these in rings. All right, we're gonna rinse these off anyways. Okay, now since these are still really dirty even after I rinsed them off the first time, we're gonna stick them in a large bowl with water and just kind of mush them around, mix them around a little bit so that the salt and the dirt and the grinds and the salt or whatever, not salt, sand, good Lord. All that grossness gets to the bottom. Okay, now we're just gonna play with them a little bit. Good thing about these is they float, so it's easy for the dirt and the nastiness to get down to the bottom. Then you're gonna take a slotted spoon and scoop them out so that, because if you just pour it out into a strainer, you're gonna get all that, you're just gonna pour all the dirt and crap back onto it. So just take it out with a slotted spoon and then stick it in the strainer. Then I'd give them another good rinse. Fine. Have we prepared everything? Yes. Okay. Now we're going to add the apple cider vinegar to the soy milk and then set it aside to let it curdle. And we're gonna prep the biscuit mix. We're not gonna make them, we're just gonna mix some stuff first while we do other stuff. We're gonna mix the flour, baking powder, and salt. Now we're just gonna mix this up with a fork and then we're gonna set it aside. Now we're gonna mix the cornstarch into the vegetable stock, 3 cups of vegetable stock, and the cornstarch. Flies across the kitchen. We're gonna mix this up until dissolved. Okay, now we're gonna stick the burner on a medium heat, and then you're gonna get an oven-safe skillet. So I have this, which is a Vision Corning ware. Anyway, I Googled it, and this was safe to put in the oven, and it is safe on the stove. Ideally, you wanna get a cast iron skillet. That's the one that's big enough, of course, because that's just supposed to be better. I don't have one big enough. So you're also going to need olive oil. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I forgot a lot of things today. Forgive me. So you're going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil into your oven-safe skillet. All right, we're starting to pop. So let's put in the leeks, the onions, and the carrots until they're soft and just beginning to brown, about 10 minutes. And for the forgotten ingredients, you're also going to need frozen peas, olive oil. Let's start on the biscuits. So we have our flour mixture, and then we're gonna mix in the shortening, just some little slivers it says, because you want large crumbs. You do not want to like get it all mixed in super creamy and all together. You want there to be crumbs. All right, shortening is mixed in. Now we're going to drizzle in the soy milk and mix with the fork or your fingers. But you're gonna get your fingers dirty in a second, so don't feel like you need to do that yet. All right, you're just gonna get the majority of it mixed in with a fork, and then we're gonna get our fingers all up in there and get dirty. For about 10 minutes, we're gonna knead it. If it's super sticky to your fingers, then you're gonna add a little bit of flour to it. You're just gonna mix it right in the bowl. And it is slightly sticky, so I'm gonna add a little bit more flour. Okay, I think we're to a point where we can probably go ahead and move on from this. So the next thing we're gonna do is add the garlic and thyme, freshly ground pepper, just a few pinches, salt, and we're gonna cook for 1 more minute. Let's add the potatoes, frozen peas. Get most of them in the casserole dish if you can. Now we're gonna pour in the vegetable and cornstarch mix. You might need to stir it up again because it tends to separate. Okay, now you wanna raise the heat because we're looking for a simmer. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get our beans and rinse and drain them. Okay, the liquid's starting to finally simmer, so we're gonna lower the heat a little bit and let it simmer for 7 minutes. And it said do not do it longer than that. Okay, 7 minutes has passed. They said to not do much with it. Said it should be simmering still, which it is. Slightly thickened, which it is. So now what we're gonna do is stir in the beans. So now we're gonna take the biscuit mixture and we're going to pull off about a little bit bigger than a golf ball size is what it said. Roll it up and then smush it down just a little bit and place it on top of the dish about 1 inch apart from each other. See how that turns out. It's interesting, I've never thought to do this, so, okay. Well, now that that's done, we're gonna stick it in the oven. And we're gonna bake for 15 minutes. It said not to worry about a spillover, but if you are, put a pan underneath it. It said it's never happened for them. So, hopefully it doesn't happen for us. Ooh. I hear sizzling. I'm a little worried. It is definitely spilling over. Should be good. All right, the timer went off. Let's check the biscuits. It said the biscuits should be slightly brown and firm to the touch. They are not slightly brown yet. So let's stick them in there for another 2 minutes. Right? That sounds good. All right, let's take them out. Ooh. They're definitely firm to the touch, and they are slightly brown, ever so slightly. Probably the slightest brown you'll ever see. So let's let this cool off for a second because it looks really freaking hot. Let's try it. So I'm gonna try the stew first, and then I'm gonna try a little bit of the biscuit with it. It's a good stew. You can taste the beans. Obviously the beans add a nice texture and flavor to it. Any soup that has onions or leeks in it is gonna be good in my opinion. Now let's try the biscuit.
So I'm gonna just tear off a little bite.
I would say maybe cook it for a little bit longer. You do want a little bit of a brownness on top because it's just slightly underdone in the middle. It reminds me a little bit like a dumpling because it has that doughy texture to it, and especially since this particular one isn't cooked all the way through, it kind of has that doughy dumpling texture, which I like. Maybe that's what they're going for, I don't know. I think this is a good soup, or a good stew, good cassoulet, whatever it is. So the only things that I would recommend would be to make sure you definitely put a pan underneath that, and I would cook it for a little bit longer, but everything's delicious. It's a nice stew. You can taste the thyme in it, which gives it a nice flavor. You could add a little bit more salt to it depending on your vegetable broth that you put in there, but it really doesn't need it. So I think it's good as it is. It's kind of cool. It looks cool because there's biscuits on top. I've never seen anything like that, so that's kind of cool. It's very hearty, very filling. It's like, this is like comfort food at its best, really. I give 2 thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. I will see you guys next time.